Okay, so you are coming through somewhat clearly. So, hello everyone and welcome. Sorry about the delay. This is a new stream. We are playing Curse of Strahd, and there's still a few minor things to kind of figure out, sort out, all that kind of fun stuff. The mics that we usually use for Isles of Adamor is actually one of the players. So while that player is not present, we do not have access to those mics. So we kind of had to make a different plan. Let's hope this works out. So just a few things. This is a new stream. We will be starting from brand new. Just a quick thought in terms of the way we run it in Isles of Adamor. We had quickly had this discussion beforehand. Now in Isles of Adamor, usually the way it works, if you roll a natural 1, you do a push-up. We had a quick discussion and we all reached an agreement that if there is a natural 1 rolled at the table, Paul will do a push-up.
What? Yeah, unfortunately.
For everyone. So Ross's wrist is fucked. My wrist is fucked. Jade's back is fucked. I very much want to see Mike do a push-up. That leaves Paul to be the...
Why does it have to be a push-up?
So
what about
tradition? So that kind of leaves Paul currently as the only person physically capable of doing a push-up. Okay. So we discussed this. We don't know why he's surprised. He was informed of this. No, I'm joking.
I didn't sign up.
Oh, well, you are technically the newest player. No, I'm joking. So unfortunately, there is several lingering injuries at this table, so the whole push-up thing will not actually happen in Curse of Strahd. Don't worry, Paul. No, we're just playing. So there isn't. We thought about maybe taking a shot or something like that, but then some people might get very drunk at the end of the evening, so probably not a good idea. I mean, some people. No, I won't point any fingers. So good job. And then obviously this is mostly new players. Mike is joining us from the Isles of Adamor campaign as well, with a different character. So yeah, this will be very interesting. We'll see where this goes. In terms of our regular attempting to get a sponsorship from Draymond's, unfortunately, I kind of finished all of the Draymond's I had, and due to difficult circumstances, I wasn't able to get any more, so I cannot have my shameless attempt at a sponsorship plug, which does mean that I will be drinking a unconfirmed black liquid for the remainder of the evening, seeing as I don't believe there's going to be anything left of the unconfirmed orange liquid. I will try and remember to buy 2 next time. So, let me just finish this. Well, what I will say is, I know this one fits, I've done this before. And I do have a thematic glass for Curse of Strahd. But anyways, moving on. So, welcome everyone. Mike, welcome for joining us. Paul, I believe this is your very second game ever. So, please don't die. Jane and Ross, we have played a couple of times before, but this is the first time we're playing a campaign together. So, welcome. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm planning on having a lot of fun. This is a slightly more serious campaign, as we discussed prior. But that does not mean we're not going to have fun. It does not mean we're not going to laugh. So, but it is going to be dark. It's going to be difficult times ahead. I hope you guys are ready. So, jumping in to the first session of Curse of Strahd. You are all unacquainted, as it looks. You've come together in the Cyclops' Eye, a small, dingy tavern ports on the port of Mornhaven. Due to the size and the fact that the Cyclops Eye is often frequented by sailors, captains, there's usually not a lot of space. As a result, the four of you were forced to sit together around a small table in a corner. This is the first time the four of you get to meet one another. So, Mike, would you please introduce yourself?
Before you was what you would see as the young lady. Immaculate girl, absolutely high class clothes. Doesn't really suit her business. Something that offers the one and scurrying over her and sitting in her lap and absent-minded
Sitting next to her is an elf. Looks a bit strange though. He doesn't have any name. He's quite quiet, isolated, sitting by himself. A little bit wary, I guess, of everyone around him. But not uncomfortable. Just aware of his surroundings, not everyone else. Yeah. Really, really dark, ugly, very
So glad he said it.
shining. Sun.
On the far side, you see a very shy human. It looks to be. She's got a bit of a background in war. Not really sure. She seems to prefer to keep to herself. So just quickly, if you want, just let everyone know what your name is.
So, so as you sit in the dragon
So think of a fully grown dragon in terms of looks, but the size of a cat.
So um, one sits on her lap and she's shifted her chair back so that it has space. One sits on her lap and chewing while the other one sits on her shoulder. And then she'll look over darling, you wouldn't have to have that in you. Thank you very much. I am really pleased to meet you. Shut up. Shut up. Oh, God.
Probably better than chat.
And she goes, you say you can perhaps I think you take out a piece of muscle. And she'll take a piece of sausage and hold it to the dragon.
the oily after it finished the sausage, the oily mouth kind of snuggles in against you and leaves a bit of an oil mark on your cheek.
So, well, worth it, isn't it? That's good for that. What? So, tell me, do you have any thoughts about what nursery time big fire
Well,
I don't like fashion.
the client doesn't
Well, hat.
So, as is tradition with most taverns, there is a notice board on the wall. And there is currently two flyers, for lack of a better term, nailed to the notice board that are as follows for whoever wants to see.
But there's not much entertainment. What do you say about teaming up in the contract?
They could use a diversion for something like ghosts or demons or
We can gather lots
or to be fooled to chase with somebody. Probably not the fires.
Let's collect both.
I will join for the ghost.
We could always be.
How far are we from the how far do I have to go?
Well, so the table's in the corner and the notice board is up there. And you can go to it and pull off the sheet if you really wanted to. Kind of implying that you do accept the contract. So the gypsy scum Maybe just read carefully the rewards.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, so the Gypsy Scum is just outside of Mornhaven, whereas the house is currently undisclosed.
I'm pretty sure we can very easily find the different we can do both. Whilst if for one of them we can do chop chop, right? Let's
Um,
take away our
I'm,
the
I'm going to say specifically Lily and, whoops, apparently I forgot to print out my updated GM screen for Curse of Strahd. Shedrack, quickly the two of you roll me it's an insight check. Ross, I forgot you did ask me for one. You're a 15 and a 4. So, Lily, you've been around a little bit. This is not your first foray into adventuring. As a result, you are aware that health potions are actually quite expensive. Depending on where you buy and who you buy from, they can easily go for 40, 50, sometimes even 60 gold pieces for one. So you are quite aware that in terms of value for money, the Gypsy Scum is probably um, the better of the two choices. Not that the house is not a good worth for money, but the Gypsy Scum you'll probably get more out.
But she's not going to disclose this. She's just like, all that. All that. Why would you just say there are hours?
It all depends on what it means for you.
No.
Okay. Finish that quickly.
I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I won't go into it. But no, that I will not tolerate the killing of innocent.
And Lily stands up. Kicking his sleeve over one on the shoulder, one on
I'm quickly going to grab the printout that I forgot to put in my game screen so I can actually know what some of your abilities are. That's kind of fake.
Definitely. What happens to Lily if the deal is I'd have you know, don't make me get the Cockney accent.
Only when you angered.
The whole lot of
Okay, now I can know who I can bombard with random information about what's going on around me without raising unnecessary suspicion. So, behind the bar, you see a well-weathered elf. I'm not quite sure of which of the three primary branches this one is from, High Elf, um, Drow, or Wood Elf. As this elf was a sailor for quite some time before either working at this tavern or opening a tavern. Looks out over you. What can I do for you, mate?
One ale, please.
Just the one. See, your friends are starting to come over.
You guys want something to drink?
Alcohol.
I'm quite right.
Yes, sir. Just one. What have you got? Got something dark and unflavorful.
No. We've got something dark and very flavorful.
Please,
Or light and tasteless.
sir. Dark.
He turns around, starts pouring you a mug of ale down in front of you. That'll be 4 copper pieces.
I'm not gonna have a chance.
Nah, I should have. The financial exchange happens. I did actually have some points, but I never got them prepped for the sessions. Look how amazing this is. The one thing that does bother me is why is the cool drink in the middle of the shot?
Because we're not sponsored by Kingsley.
No. There is another sponsorship that I might be able to organize. I'll start those discussions next week.
As I get it settled, I'll ask him. You put the notices on
Well, which notices?
the gypsy scum and something about a water.
The gypsy scum, that's just the town guard. I mean, there's fucking bastards camping out just outside of Mornhaven. They don't really make the people too comfortable, and the town guard would like to get rid of them. Um,
They're like, what people?
well, of course, I mean, they're fucking gypsies. What don't you think?
So it'd be good to be having some.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they're just traumatizing and torment people as they're coming into Mornhaven, turning away business. I mean, even we here are suffering because of it.
Happened for a long time.
Well, they've been here for a week or two now.
So when we walked up, why is Mr. City God? Doesn't sound like it was
I mean, the city guard is stretched thin as it is. I mean, you know, after the tearing, it's all forces have been quite thin.
So at the mention of
Yeah, well, there I agree with you, but I mean, you can get paid gold coins to just chase some fucking hooligans around.
so at mention of staring, like Lily is pale, she'll go pale. But then just for a moment, she'll go pale. So,
Um, you will notice that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I haven't gone.
But there, but it's you almost miss it.
and then she'll go, okay, so let's change this. The whole house is really close to that
That was probably on another shift. I, I'm not sure. It was there when I got you this morning.
Any rumor? Would you like any information?
Well, it's a haunted house that appeared 2, 3 days ago. Um, out of the blue.
The
That was an empty plot of land in Mornhaven, and suddenly there was this house. And some of the locals are complaining that it's haunted. They hear screams and so on from it at night.
You might think there's so much gold.
Interesting question, isn't it?
You
I was,
Where was it?
that'll be slightly to the north, just before the rich district, leading up to the main palace.
The village was just a small little village. Shall we?
Ah, pleasure. Can I get you guys anything else?
The village lives with a few serious
Ah, this is only a tavern, sorry. Most people don't really stay the night. Or they just get so blind drunk that we leave them in the stable until they sober up and then they carry on. And
Good barkeep, are you saying you've got a single thing?
no, I am not. I'm just saying I'm not sure where there is one.
I look at the others. Barkeep and
Calm down. Oh, good. Oh, look at you. Shall I suggest? Let me first go. We will clear to the look for this plot of land and I will go have sorts of I shall look down at the view and then the hem of her grace is a good sort of and then she'll just go around.
It's not particularly difficult to find the main gates. And the middle road then leading down to the Garden Board here, the Dragon Mounts. That is kind of the impression you got that they were on. You spend about half an hour just outside the city. You see a small circle of caravans with a roaring fire in the middle and a couple of people dancing around, hear the tune of the guitar playing. As you approach the small encampment of gypsies, travelers, I'm not really sure which, the sun starts getting a little bit on the lower side. Probably what we in our world would call maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon, thereabouts. So I mean, you still have some time left before the sun sets, but it is getting a little bit later in the day.
Does the are the trees
No, it's open. There's a little bit of frost on the ground left from the winter snows,
but
but
no trees, no branches. So as they walk up the place, when the wall down, the actual step.
so it's not right outside the gates. It's about half an hour's walk from the gates.
That is just commanded there on the ground. Play, don't go far, I'll be right back. And then she'll put them down on the ground. And then after that, she'll continue
Okay? So, are you trying to be stealthy? Stop there.
No, she's very confident.
With the plate armor and the rogue.
Yeah, so you guys will have, I don't know, I can't really, I'm gonna have you guys want to go a little bit of a different way around what will happen.
I feel confident enough that I know
Look easy. And then she'll very very proud, very even though she has piercing, she looks the
Of a gypsy.
as well as gypsy will yes. And then she'll walk this is
So, as you approach, find the first time I am playing a Dungeons and Dragons pointer out of the actual book. Believe it or not.
finally.
I have the first Strahd book. Well, I told you. Compliments of James. He wanted to get rid of it, so like, well, he wanted to take it. So, as you approach this group of caravans, one of the so-called gypsies recognize you. Hello there! Are you here to cause trouble, or do you want to join in the celebrations?
So then pipes up. Darling, what fun is the celebrations without trouble?
Well, naturally, but there's trouble and there's trouble, and they're not quite the same thing, are they, now?
Well, take your pick which one.
Well, come have a drink, and then we'll see what trouble we can cause a little bit later.
Sounds like and she'll just walk all confidently up to him. Whatever, but
A variety. What do you want to drink?
something dark is better
Strong or weak?
than dark.
Very well, good friend. Come join us. Come, come. Step closer. You too, please. Don't feel out. All is welcome.
Walk right
And as you step into the circle, this is very much a joyous celebration. You can see several, actually very beautiful gypsy girls dancing around fire. Group of guys sitting on the steps of one of the caravans playing their guitars, singing, some storytelling happening to the one side. The one that invited you in is quickly flitting there around, and he grabs a surprisingly small glass and pours a fairly dark liquid into it. So it's probably a tumbler size, and it fills it about halfway, and he hands it to you. I suggest you don't drink this all in one gulp. You might not live to tell about it. What do you guys want? Drinks, drinks. We have food.
So let me kind of seductively look at him. Well, let's start
Roll me a persuasion check. Which one is the wrong question to ask you? Yours must fine.
that is
Why do you want to see him for?
maybe ask him why. Just learn about
Fun, joy, freedom, going where we want. doing who we want.
So she'll just really bite her tongue a little bit, just enough to maybe pique his interest.
You've already piqued his interest.
So you can get to that part later during the festivity with your darling, and she'll just gently stroke her hand down his arm, really setting it.
Um, usually I try this through researching. Really gonna help me. So, Andre, he's sitting there on the opposite side. Um, so, and he points to just beyond the fire. You see a fairly large man, not huge, but he's larger than most, with a pretty gypsy girl sitting in his lap. And the two seem to be chatting about. Um, Speak to him if you want to find out.
So as she leaves, she'll give him the prettiest smile she can muster, and then
Performance.
performance. That's
He swoons ever so slightly. You just notice it.
so she'll saunter off towards the elder, making sure she's swimming levels just enough to keep her good.
As this is happening, I roll my eyes. I can very clearly see that when you're doing. I just move to the side, just kind of a bit away from everyone else, not quite standing in open contact.
Everyone around the fire, is there anybody like fighting, keep playing with each other?
Well, I mean, it's a festive scenario. Having fun.
Having or playing or anything like that.
So there are a couple of. You're actually surprised as you look around. They're on the jump. It does strike you as a little bit odd.
Anybody else dancing?
Well, I mean, there's a few girls dancing around the fire. There's a group of guys sitting on the steps playing their guitars,
How many
singing.
people are plus
About 15, give or take. At least that you can see outside. Why, hello, beautiful. Come join me.
So she'll walk over and very gently, I will say, but also very authoritatively, making
Mm, I like this. And as he takes your hand, he pulls you in, trying to get you to go sit on his lap.
So, she will just, ever since I take her, make sure she takes her hand away. Just enough force to get her hand away.
Playing hard to get. It's going to be a fun evening.
What I do is, I mean, I can't just help myself.
Sure, why not?
There's
The fun in the hunt. For another time. Well, isn't it obvious? We're enjoying ourselves. Why the animosity? We're not harming anyone.
However,
Please, 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 the city guard, the city guard. They're always a problem everywhere we go.
now she'll reach out and just gently stroke him. Ask you. How can you resolve this in you
Well, let us enjoy the evening. And we'll talk business in the morning.
tomorrow?
Perfect.
Tomorrow.
I'm going to say, and you can choose which depending on what it is that you're trying to do. Roll either a persuasion or a deception. You don't actually have to specify which one you do.
So I just want to double check. I think all of them that is going to be a full on 20. And that's how we roll.
He laughs at you. Oh, so precious. Enjoy tonight. Business tomorrow.
So,
Have a drink. Have a dance. Find a pretty little boy. Oh,
so she pouts a little bit. Oh well.
well, you're welcome to join us.
No.
And as he strokes the girl sitting on his, well, one leg.
So Lily turns around like, and she turns around and she walks towards the campfire where the other girls are dancing. She's calling with them.
Shadrach, how much of that loss have you done?
Oh, well, see. Guys, I have to like kind of check what it means by going. So probably like maybe I don't know how hard it hits me.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
Feel like
Probably a constitution saving throw. That hard. We hope it is.
Am I assuming correctly
No. Way to go. This one, you notice that had you taken it in quicker, it would have knocked you. So, Golden, what are you doing?
So while all this is happening, and while Lily's talking, I quietly slip into one of the tents, the
Caravans.
making sure it's empty. If you have a quick
Roll stealth for me first. Yes. So most of your rolls will be with
that's a 5, and modifier will be for X. Oh,
stealth. It's pretty much at the bottom.
Yeah,
plus 7 throw rates.
Or the rows, so stealth should be high. Even then, as you're trying to sneak in, you feel a soft hand stroking your arm, grabbing your hand and pulling you away. What do you think you're doing?
I turn around very suddenly and grab together his by the throat, squeezing very hard.
You see the big almond eyes staring back at you as the girl that was trying to draw you back grabs your hand and starts gasping for air.
That's really
Yeah.
So Lily would immediately start moving
Okay, and Lily's moving, but Holden's focused entirely on whoever this is, and he just whispers almost like, "What do you want?" Releases like that.
Just wanted to know if you wanted a drink and why you want to go through our things. Not quite yet.
Holden looks at it a bit longer for a while and says calmly, "You know this that your entire company is being watched and being and is in danger from the town watch. You know that at any moment they could send guards to come to you. Do you know that your whole people could be killed? What are you doing here? What do you want?"
That's nothing new. We get this. We get this everywhere. We go.
Okay, at this point I'll release it completely. And I say, what would it take for you to leave?
End of the day.
Pretty much now.
So Lily will saunter in between them and look at the well not really in between them and look at the girl taking her hand her face soft in her hand.
Give Lily a full not saying anything.
So Lily will stand next to you and just closely nudge towards you, making it look very intimate, but you can feel absolutely she is absolutely if she could, she would burn you with her presence.
I sense this from Lily.
I'd be able to see if you're understanding.
Yes.
I know. Everybody.
Yeah, it's fairly in the open.
Any reaction?
Well, I'll probably try and take a second sip and then spit it out. Start grabbing
So-
it.
She's kind of leaning over, still trying to catch her breath. She's like, "We'll leave when we get what we seek."
from the confrontational things at the physical.
So the
Why don't you join us?
so the
Join in the fun.
nose flat and she'll walk over to the door. Plenty cupping her face, looking at her and whisper into her ear.
She scampers off.
Her limp turns absolute almost with her eyes.
Yay, PvP!
And she'll simply cup her hands very easily, both hands.
In this world, even small ones.
I mean, don't tell me about this before. I know it's not so. However, you do not when you face with the carrot instead, you get a hell of a lot more with the carrot.
You seem to be chasing a lot of carrots.
I chase carrots all the time. I will chase carrots. The problem is
Have you started moving now?
No, it's in the
I would say there's a sudden look up uncertainty on Aldrin's face, and he'll quickly say some things are becoming an enemy.
so let me and she'll just reach out and take it on the shoulders. So, and as she walks away, she'll just slowly walk back to Dorothy. She'll just give each shoulder another sweep, just that stand, work with her, and then she'll practice it with her mouth. And then she'll start dancing with her, not make it obvious, and then fight dancing until she
So as you're dancing, you feel someone hugging you from behind.
so she'll simply stop it, raise her arms up and try to
And then you see staring up at you the same almond eyes that was almost crying a few moments earlier.
so how old
Probably at 18, 19.
short for it's very definitely short. Yeah, Lily is
Oh,
so she's great. So she'll turn around
So you'll be screaming at Shadowhead's
yeah.
stomach.
How dare you!
Do take note, I did say because it's a group of smaller players, I initially did want to impose the restriction that they should only play short races. I lost.
Um, So Lily will turn around in her guard and then just gently brush her hair behind her ear, look at her neck again, and tell her, "That's what you want before. You are always used to being cared for. So don't feel but I do apologize."
She releases you, scampers off on her bare feet.
So Lily will smile and give up any inhibition about smiling. So this was interesting how relaxes constantly.
Anything to prepare?
So Lily will take the glass and give it a sniff.
It's alcohol, right?
Will it burn her nose? Her nasal cavity suddenly on
It's-
fire?
Strangely sweet, actually.
Give it a tiny little sip.
That's enjoyable.
Have you been able
It doesn't take long before there's another glass just dropped into your hand. Well, poured, essentially.
Have you been able to learn it?
Not quite as whoever puts the glass in my hand. Sorry. Can I ask him their attention?
So it's the guy that initially saw you. He was small sandbag. Yeah.
Why did you guys here?
Well, we're here, then we're there, then we're over there. We go where the wind blows.
Well, sounds like I learned lesson.
So, obviously you can see we don't have a permanent residency, so this is what we can ferment and or distill in the caravans.
Thank you.
Some honey, some blueberries, blackberries. Quite enjoyable.
That's great. Not for the French part.
Cheers. He throws it back.
So Lily will stand around and sip gently this alcohol. And as soon as she gets it down,
Shut up.
Shandy.
So I said, I have notebooks ready.
She looked at Shaggy and okay. Tell you before you go in how far don't get absolutely sure. So she'll walk back over. Small.
So it's more. So it's made from warm, but in a glass shape.
I said I need to throw it down. Put it down to 7. Sorry. That sounds a lot more easy.
So
Yeah.
small.
Taking the I would say, one that's and I have a look at, trying to figure out if it's familiar or if there's something I recognize in the liquid.
Well, I've already taken a sip and I'll throw a chug over there. Here.
Roll a medicine check.
fates.
Maybe because you should have brought your own dice and you didn't, so now you're using
He's
mine.
loaded.
Well, then they were.
Failed 6.
People rolling, but don't ask. It's a drink. It's dark. It's fluid. If you sip it and swallow, it'll go to your stomach. It's a drink.
Okay. That's in. Oh, actually, no, I take quite a bit bigger sip than you would have done. Or advised.
What big of a sip are we talking about here?
No, not like the, not downing it or anything like that. Just obviously more than a little.
So there was
Like
when you got it, there was only about 2/3 of the glass left. That means there's only about a third left at the bottom of the glass. So it's about just under a quarter of the actual glass size.
that's on there. Yeah, I
Roll the Constitution saving throw. D20.
and
So saving throws are a little bit differently than your.
yeah, so that's the
You're not quite going to get, but you're well on your way.
very good.
Very tipsy, and it does help to relax you.
Okay, yeah, I enjoy it a bit. Not maybe in quite yet, but feeling a lot more comfortable.
So let me roll smile as you gather the tie. I'm not. I think she'll go spark the small where she can show you the ankle, glance the right way, but generally looking like she's making herself well.
Okay, the rest of you?
Did I put the wand down? Or to maybe just look around me and see if I can't recognize that maybe everybody stands in a weird stance or looks like they hold their shoulders in a certain way.
Roll a perception check.
Very, very
Everyone's relaxed. It's party time.
fun a place to sit and have a drink.
So how long
And
does
look around.
all of this take?
So, I mean, you do spend quite a bit of time there. Eventually, another pretty girl heads your way with another drink, sits down with you, starts chatting to you.
Is it
By the time you start noticing, you'll not be able to get back into town before dark.
okay? So then we will start before it's pitch black.
So as you're walking out, the guy that initially greeted you, like, no, come back, join us for the evening. It only gets funner the darker it gets.
So she'll smiles at that. I'd like to be I have pets. Like the company control. They're not far.
Well, someone needs to make sure you're safe in these dark lands.
And she just goes and holds out her arm to
He walks up and he's not quite sure what to do with the arm. So he kind of just takes her elbow and holds onto it.
So she'll just grin and show him
He's a little bit surprised, but it's like, okay, it's not his fault first. He just carries on.
and then she'll just grin at him while moving. See, listen, I'll get closer. And then she'll just start pulling guiding him in the right direction.
So
As they look, she'll try to push out of it. I know you have a video.
it's about almost 2 weeks since we've left our land.
And she'll give this one. So the woman has which would you say
To the one we're originally from. Place far away. No, I don't. Well, of course. I don't know. That's not for me to decide. Well, if you would join us for the evening and we can finish them tomorrow, couldn't you?
however,
That sounds fun.
if it will take only a couple of weeks for you and my parents and assuming you as well,
I'm sure that will be most agreeable.
what you do.
So at round about this time, you reach your pseudo
Okay, as she sees them, she'll cut off mid-saying things, and Uncle Colin will just whistle. Darlings, over here. Come to mommy.
He sees in this very the very little light that's left, he sees what he thinks is two giant bats jumping up from the ground and heading to you, and he freaks out and makes a beeline back to camp.
So she'll hold out her hand like a falcon and catch the one. And as he lands, he'll run up to her shoulder and she'll catch the second one. And then simply, with the, if she didn't have you as her with a grin, walk back to camp with the piece from the dragons into it.
So as the evening progresses, you see the festivities start picking up. The dancing gets wilder, the music gets wilder. You're constantly being offered a form of beverage, whether it's the one you initially had or some form of ale or mead. Start telling stories, and around about midnight, you notice people are pulling out some pillows and just sleeping there in the middle of the field. You get handed some, and as you turn in for the night, it's not really relevant, but you get a long rest. First long rest of the session. I don't think anyone's lost anything. And you sleep. The following morning, there's a chill on the air. An abnormal chill. It's not just cold. It almost creeps into soul. As you open your eyes, it's still fairly dark, almost as if the sun hasn't come up completely. Doesn't make sense considering how late you were up the previous evening that you'd be up so early. As you look around, you find yourselves alone on the side of a road that none of you have ever seen before. From where you are, you see, looking to your right, very, very dense mists. Almost so dense that you probably won't be able to pass. To your left, the road stretches down, leading up to what seems to be the gate of a match. As you look up, you notice that the sun is indeed up. It's just obscure, hidden behind a layer of clouds, preventing the sun from fully shining. In front of you, on the opposite side of the road and behind you, are quite dense forests. Colden, you hear in the distance the howl of wolves, and it sends a strange shiver down your spine. You know wolves. This something about this howl is a little bit off. You find on you 50 gold and 3 potions of healing. In the dirt in front of you, the road, it appears as if several caravans passed through, leading towards the gate. What do you do?
There is nothing left of the So
Aren't you lucky?
so
Benefits of being an orc of Eberron.
on you and
Well, everything's on.
the lily will take out like 10 gold.
And I interject here, quite obviously feeling panic, saying, but in a low voice saying, we can worry about this later. Those who are not doing it something
Very well. Okay. And she'll stand up and it's like she realizes something for the first time. She starts looking
They are there with you. They're still snuggled up in the grass, sleeping. I won't be that far.
around. Shall we?
You recognize the gates to be similar to what would normally be on at the front of
Oh, shall we? It's I prefer to have solid walls in the middle of the Barovia thing, so shall we?
have to do with, but in a dark way.
Darling. Darling. And she'll bend down and gently give
So-
you the back of her hand.
The one pops up almost immediately and jumps to your shoulder. The other one sneaks open one eye and looks at you, and you can see that she's not happy.
So,
This one is not happy with being woken up right now.
so Lily will simply reach down and gently pick her up and cradle her like an egg her arms with the wings very, very long.
She starts pulling everything together and snuggles up and comes to sleep.
So as
Very clearly, morning pseudo dragon, evening pseudo
and
dragon.
then, so Lily will as start walking towards the gate, and as he walks, she'll just gently give scratches underneath his wing, trying to coax a little bit of life back into her very grumpy dragon.
Don't touch me until I've had my coffee.
Coming. Hello?
Yes. I'll have a third.
So once you reach the gate, is the gate open?
So you walk up to the gate and you notice you might have made a mistake. This is not a mansion's gate. It looks like one, but it is huge. It is really, really big. As you reach the gate, it stretches up several feet above you. Directly to the sides of it, there's a forest, very dense forest, going out the gate itself. It's a huge wrought iron gate with one standing slightly ajar, allowing travelers to move through the gate. This gate hasn't seen oil or useful of any sense in quite some time.
I'll let you all about holding this a awfully convenient and covered.
It's seemingly locked or
No, it's slightly ajar.
partly as well.
Well, as I said before, don't always think in monasteries. For the first time, slouching a little bit. But very quickly compose yourself to it. That's good. And with this, you can grab her in your arm.
As you all step through the gate, you hear this click as the gate closes behind you and seemingly locks.
But without even looking in your eye. Yes, I would just like this to brings me to swearing bad thoughts. To swearing. Or perhaps even
Well, so you haven't seen a building.
I know, no building, just
You've only seen the gates.
the
The pathway does curve off to the left, deeper into the woods. That's why I said like it looks like mansion gates. It is huge. You haven't actually seen the building.
No. I'm sure it does. Correct.
So following the path, you notice the woods a little less dense, a little more open. Until one point you take a curve around to the right, and there's an open plain in front of you. On the opposite side of the plain, you see what appears to be a village. Possibly a little bit ramshackle. The architecture is not familiar. It, you told them zooming out a little bit longer and being able to see a little bit further, the architecture looks to be from a previous age.
I do. I would mention age if I do know it.
Well, previous age, it's more a case of several years prior to what the architecture looks like now.
Yeah, I'll be pushing it. I can say it in words. The black hat. The obscure sun and the black hat. In perfect condition. And we should keep an eye on it.
So this is just
Literally or figuratively.
yeah.
True.
However, with,
Have you ever seen a baby with a dirty diaper?
however, with the way certain people drive on the roads, I'm not so sure about that statement. Oh,
Oh no.
So, might be able to always just the knowledge and survive 100%. And I'm pretty sure we'll survive 99% because of all our first experiment to the future. So,
It's not out of the way.
how strongly do you feel about not being
Then what you said into you. There is no it's every if someone is anything enough, you try and
am I feeling like sacrifice?
yes. I kind of
They might be able to have my and the leaves. Like, but you will see the more of this gets good and the more this you found it. Like, she's really not happy. This dirty great spot. This isn't what she signed up for. It's not what she wanted.
So especially considering that most of the dirt here is like it's not loose gravel.
That's my her shoes are she's absolutely full of it.
Just imagine her hair being a little bit like after whatever happened to this
Wow. She
It
was
was
there.
hinted towards that. Nothing actually ever happened.
Um, so she'll yeah, she doesn't outwardly show herself. You can see in her she's looking for a hot dog. Thanks, Fred.
Are there any fires, lights, anything that gives you guys any presence from this far away?
Oh, not that you can see.
So,
It's a group of buildings. So, as you reach the village, it's not a walled off village, it's more just a cluster of bunch of buildings. You do notice there's a bit of smoke coming from some of the larger houses indicating lights, and you do see people moving around. All very interesting garments. Nothing like what any of you have ever seen
Is it colourful and bright and colorful, typical medieval? Is it more darker?
before. It's more darker, more sullen colors, browns and greys mostly.
The demeanor, the sullen and downtrodden.
One thing that they're moving around fairly slowly. The majority of them don't pay you any attention whatsoever. The few that do look up, you notice a very simple, sullen, straightforward facial expression, a little bit of surprise seeing different people than what they're probably used to. But the stairs don't stay long before they drop their heads back down and continue about their business.
I'm assuming that we're walking into the village. Is there any place that we can see that looks like over
There is a um, one of the bigger buildings pretty much in the center of the village. You notice is possibly an inn, probably just tavern. Um, it's one of the few buildings that does have a bit of smoke coming from its chimney. Um, but there's no music coming from inside.
the living room might
So the notes in front of me would be this. I'm assuming. So it's a fairly large um, tavern with little to no patrons hanging around. You're not sure if these people they just don't do taverns and um, drinking, or it's just the wrong time of day, seeing as it's still fairly early in the day as far as you can tell from how high the sun is. Um, there is a man behind the counter sitting there cleaning out some glassware. Um, fairly tall, same sullen expression, reasonably long blonde hair.
So, where do you work for just not the people that is the local to clean up the mud of what shoes and you're talking about. And to shape different places of shape and to push down below some of the outside and have a very sure walking towards
As you come in, you do notice off to the side, there's a patron that was from the doorway itself, hidden from view. Um, as you walk in, it's like, oh, hello there. You're not from around here, are you? Well, why don't you join me? Let me buy you a cup of wine. Welcome you to our wonderful country of Barovia. Yes. Have you heard of it before? Well, it does make sense. There's not a lot of people passing by. Um, so what is it that you are doing here?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm not quite following you.
So the gist of the story, we
So as he says that, you notice the tavern keep comes with 4 cups of a light reddish wine.
so as he puts them down, the leader could I ask for 2 bowls of milk and some more quickly with the bowls.
Coming right up. So that.
And sugar. So to make it very simple, we go to a party with some gypsies and they both have short ways
Yeah. Sounds like you encountered the Vistani. Vistani. It's the regular travelers here in Barovia. Um, quite a fascinating folk, quite enjoyable. Um, they do have some of the best parties in in the whole country. Um, not that that's particularly difficult, he says as he look, looks over to some of the other patrons who are giving you guys shifting glances, but very much enamored with their own cups of wine.
Yes, I do see that joyousness has led wow, why does it look like everyone gets
This is what people here look like.
it has to be. Surely it can't be all good and bad.
Have you seen the weather? That's every day. Uh, we mainly get wine. Haven't you heard? The vampire, Strahd.
And the moment you say vampire, the illusion, fire facial expression just drops. Like she is white as but faithful white, deathly white. She doesn't move.
Are you okay there? You look like you've seen a ghost.
So she'll just stay quiet. They take the glass and the nice big, kind of big gulp actually of wine, placing it down and then gather up the drink. Like just for, I would initially say comfort, like use those information.
Mike playing with kittens.
No! Yes. Apologize. I think doesn't have
Oh, what ruler doesn't?
yes,
Not that I know.
what is your main concern?
I'm sorry. What?
What does your village need? Do you only farm for yourself? Do you sell crops, goods to other towns?
Why did the Strahd come here? Why did they always travel here?
Well, they travel through the entire land of Barovia. They we see them come and go, but they don't really stay. In terms of us, we mainly farm for ourselves.
So you have
We do get our wine from one of the other villages, but seems to be about it. Say again?
what do you give? What do you trade?
Well, I don't buy the wine, so I don't actually know.
Well, this farm. You do good over there. Very good.
What do you think?
I think
Well, I think the last one was about 100 years ago. Most people just exist. Oh, tell me, you are new here. Tell me about yourselves. Oh, that much is very apparent. You don't mind my saying.
The Strahd must have
It's done.
dropped the ship outside here. Has anyone else come through here? Besides us?
Well, this has been the odd traveler or two over the past couple of years. Um, Never a group as large as you, though.
no one is still.
Not that I'm aware of. There is the. It's fairly common knowledge around these parts that after nightfall you need to be in the villages, as if you're in forests, wildlands, the wolves will get you. So please be sure that if you are going to stay here, just be in the villages at night. Um, I'm guessing some others might not have followed that advice, or they might have settled down in some of the other villages. But there's none remaining here.
If the sun
Oh, well, not at night. Um, well, obviously, it's always safer to travel in groups. I mean, wolves will attack you during the daytime as well. They just tend to get a more aggressive at night. But from what I know, the Visani also only travel during the daytime.
The problem is only for stories.
You're in Barovia. There are lots of stories. Well, I mean, there is Strahd, um, and I do believe that he does have some minions that do his bidding. I myself have been training all my life with a variety of weapons in an attempt to try and rid Barovia from the curse of Strahd.
Hope if you could lift something open how did you
Well, I don't think you to be some of Strahd's employees.
so actually we didn't do any writing.
But Mike does.
Mike do you know the place where you can ask?
Um,
I mean the dark.
there is an abandoned house.
Very deep. So she'll the absolute hatred. I am fully aware of my massage.
Well, there is a house that no one's lived in for quite a number of years. Um, I'm pretty sure you will be um, able to stay there for a couple of nights if you wish. If we move on. Well, that will probably go through um, the um, the alderman, which I need to find momentarily. Burgomasters. It might have to go through him. He does have the final say in this village.
One thing I want to just bring in. Has, in the Obama, has my character ever heard of this country?
No.
Okay. I'd like to make this public. Um, Before we find our lodging, one important thing you might know is where exactly we are at. Have any of you ever heard of this country where it is in the base?
Barovia.
Barovia, I heard the guy. Barovia.
I should
Among the lot of you, Lily is probably the most well traveled at this point in time. With Holden, your background, you might have spent the most time with maps. So probably between the two of you, you'll have the best knowledge of where exactly Barovia is.
where to get pale boomerangs or in a caravan over
So, one night, we seemingly have traveled to a country none of us have ever heard of before.
never ruler or heard of
I think we need to see what we
clandestine.
Not really as such. Um, there are some people who would be willing to trade with you. And then some of the other villages that are a bit more militarized, and some of the parts may come in, might be more accessible. Um, most of the weapons here has been handed down through generations, from father to son. Um, beyond that, I think the biggest store of weapons is in Castle Ravenloft.
How far?
As you ask that, he stands up and leads you to the door, and you stand on the porch. He points to the northwest, and you can see there on a mountain against the dark, cloudy skyline the silhouette of quite a large rock.
How far?
Most of us are within a day's travel.
I'm going to.
Ah, yes, of course, I'll take you to father. Why, yes. He enters back and pays for the wine, and then takes you along and guides you over to um, his, well, the Burgomaster's house. He comes in and enter, and you see off to the side a coffin with flowers surrounding it and a man lying inside. So, oh, yes, father has passed.
Who is Burgomaster in this state?
He has not been elected or chosen yet. I think for now, if you wish, you can make the abandoned home a place for you to stay if you want to put down your things. Uh, I'm assuming you traveled a long way to get here, so you must be tired.
Is it unassuming? There is no
We can ask the twin maker.
concentration. Maybe a princess. And she just flashes me this.
Yeah, thanks for a moment. Are you sure you don't want to put down your things first?
Is the house
Yes.
there?
The previous tenants left it almost as is.
Yes, perhaps let us go. I need a place.
So he leads you to a fairly large house. There's 3 stories from where you stand. You can see 3 stories with even windows on the roof area, suggesting an attic as a 4th story. Um, quite a large house, not particularly wide, but goes down quite deep, um, away from the road itself. So it's about 30 feet wide, give or take, with a door on the left hand side, and then well, 3 rows of windows and windows. The opening, there's a small opening section just where you enter, leading up to the doors. It's also close behind a gate. Also a fairly ramshackle wrought iron gate, standing askew as if someone had bent it out of the way in order to enter. The guy leading you there seems quite unfazed. And he leads you up and steps over the bent out gate, opens the door, and well, Memento.
Does this facility come with
Yes, they are, from what I've heard, the proper facilities for all aspects of your needs. Already built in?
okay. Thank you, my dear. We shall meet you back.
Okay,
Shall we say hi to you?
sure.
But remember, I think this is the
This might be a bad idea, really.
Yes.
It's the night before we report on the ways. I say we set up a watch. And stay in it. But be sure to be at least.
There are certain aspects we can share holding room where I would maybe where I next to each other. Then I would also suggest I do believe I have a bunch of work behind me. We should not have to do next to each other. That I want to
As you step into the entrance area, the doors behind you close. A little bit too well when the guy you met at the tavern still standing outside. But it does sound as if it's a little bit too quick. Yeah, but not quite. I quickly want to check. Ross, you guys said you wanted to finish up by 10. Okay. So I think this is a good place to stop. So you are just inside the house. The doors have just closed off behind you. And we will pick this up in 4 weeks' time. So, thank you all for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed this. So this is a very interesting start to a new campaign. Let us see where this goes. Say again?